Hey, it's guitarist Eric Skye again, and I want to talk today a little bit about harmony. Might be stretching the bounds again with the objective of the series being, taking stuff you already know and kind of, taking it to the next level. But I think that, I just don't want to get into actually explaining harmony necessarily, but the challenge is to sort of encourage you maybe to go out and study more about harmony. I really think of myself as a chord nerd first. I love chords. If you came by my house, it's rare that I'm sitting around playing single note lines if I'm noodling. It's almost always just trying to figure out kind of interesting chords and how chords go together. Just like the 7 numbers that they use in the lottery, there's a lot of combinations. There's a lot of combinations of the 7 notes we use in a scale, and it never ends. And it's particularly fascinating. When I was a kid, I grew up in what I thought was pretty rural Pennsylvania. And, I didn't have a guitar teacher. I don't really know how I started playing guitar. But I remember having a chord book, and, that was really all I needed, was just kind of a chord book. And just going through and playing all those different chords, it just, it was music to me. So anyway, I've always had this passion for chords and harmony. And when people talk about music theory, I think for the most part, what they are talking about is harmony. I mean, you learn about form, sonata form, and all that stuff, and you certainly can have a long discussion about rhythm. But mostly we're talking about harmony and knowing what chords are in a key is just huge. I think you don't have to necessarily get into really crazy advanced harmony. You don't have to know all the cool modes and all the scales that are in every mode, but just like a basic understanding of what chords are in a major key could, be huge for you if you haven't done this work. And I think it's simple. I think it's easier than people think. I think some teachers make it out to be a really hard thing. And I know with my own teaching, I feel like, in a lesson or two, I can give you a pretty big chunk of it, just enough to know that, for example, if you're sitting under a tree and you come up with 2 chords that go together well, like maybe C and F, and once you had a sense that maybe you're in the key of C, I mean, what does that mean? Do you know what other chords are in that key? And if you do, suddenly all these possibilities open up in front of you. I mean, can you use chords that are in another key? Of course. I mean, it's art and there's a lot of options, but just this basic fundamental understanding of what chords are in every key can just instantly take a little idea that you have and just open it up to a whole bunch of possibilities. And then if you can sort of see that scale in that same neighborhood, wow. I mean, now you've got resource for melody and harmony, and, let the fun begin. The combinations never end. However, if you're just doing it purely by guesswork, I feel like that can be really limiting. And I know that there's some people out there that will say, I don't know anything about music and I like it that way. And I understand that. I don't put theory first. For me, usually I'll come up with an idea, just, not in an academic way, but just like anybody else, just something comes down and boom, I got 2 chords that go together well. But I think it's like arriving in a new city. I mean, it really is fun to just kind of explore and find your way around, but eventually you got to find the hotel, eventually it's nice to have a map. And so for me, a lot of times it's sort of, having that initial creative spark, but then because I know what key I'm in, once I hit the wall, I have all these new places I can go and I know what scale works over it and whatnot. So anyway, just a basic understanding of simple harmony could change everything pretty dramatically for you. And you might find out that you're a chord nerd too. And then the good news is it never ends. It's something you can study for the rest of your life. Just when I think I'm, just a smarty pants with all these chords, I'll open up a Ted Green book and realize I'm just not going to get through this in one lifetime. And that's kind of cool. So anyway, go forth and prosper and study harmony.